Chapter 10. The Pacifist's War. The first guest reached him in seconds. A towering security contractor in a designer suit swung a heavy punch straight at Marcus's head. Marcus sidestepped instinctively and redirected the man's momentum into a marble pillar. The impact cracked stone. The man collapsed unconscious. Marcus didn't wait. Another attacker lunged immediately, a woman in an evening gown gripping a shattered champagne bottle. Marcus caught her wrist carefully before the glass could reach his throat. "Stop," he said. Her face remained blank. No recognition, no fear, only obedience. She drove her knee into his ribs hard enough to reopen damaged muscle from the subway fight. Pain exploded through his side. Marcus grunted but refused to strike back hard. He twisted her arm gently, disarmed the bottle, and lowered her unconscious to the floor just as three more attackers rushed him simultaneously. Chaos swallowed the ballroom. Screaming guests scattered toward the exits, while others turned violent instantly under Adrian's control. A waiter swung a serving tray toward Marcus's skull. Marcus ducked beneath it and swept the man's legs carefully, without breaking the knee. Another attacker came from behind with a steak knife. Marcus turned too slowly. The blade sank into his shoulder. Pain ripped through him instantly. His hand shot upward automatically, locking the attacker's wrist before the knife could go deeper. An elderly senator. Terrified tears streamed down the man's face even while his body kept attacking against his will. Marcus saw it. The man was conscious, trapped. "Please," the senator whispered weakly. Then his arm tried to stab Marcus again. Marcus clenched his jaw and slammed the man carefully into the wall hard enough to knock him unconscious. More came. Too many. Marcus moved through the crowd defensively, his combat instincts adapting every second. No killing, no permanent damage. Every movement had to be controlled, measured, restrained, which made it infinitely harder. A woman hurled a wine bottle at his head. Marcus caught it midair. Another guest tackled him from the side, then another. Bodies piled onto him as controlled civilians clawed, punched, and stabbed wildly. Marcus drove upward violently, throwing them off without crushing bones. A fork stabbed into his side. A heel cracked against his ribs. Someone smashed a whiskey bottle across the back of his skull. The ballroom spun for half a second. Marcus staggered. Blood dripped down the side of his face now. The controlled guests kept coming. Adrian stood near the far side of the ballroom, watching calmly beside the private elevator. Interested, studying him. Marcus realized the truth immediately. This wasn't escape. It was a test. The billionaire wanted to see what kind of monster Marcus really was. Would he slaughter innocents to reach his goal, or hold back and suffer for it? Marcus roared as another man drove a steak knife into his abdomen, the blade buried deep. Pain surged white-hot through his entire body. Marcus grabbed the attacker by the collar and shoved him backward without striking him. The man crashed across a banquet table, silver trays exploding across marble floors. Marcus ripped the knife free from his stomach. Blood poured instantly down his shirt. His breathing became uneven, heavy. His healing worked, but not fast enough for this. A young woman charged him holding a broken chair leg like a spear. Marcus caught the strike and redirected her into a velvet couch. Another attacker immediately afterward. Then another. The room became an endless storm of desperate faces and unwilling violence. Marcus moved through it battered and bleeding, deflecting, redirecting, disabling, never killing. Every instinct inside him screamed for efficiency, break bones, crush throats, end the threat. But these people weren't monsters. They were prisoners. And Marcus refused to become what the Ascendants wanted him to be. A champagne flute shattered against his cheek. Glass sliced across his face. He barely reacted. His focus locked onto Adrian across the ballroom. The billionaire checked his watch calmly, then smiled faintly. The private elevator doors slid open behind him. No. Marcus shoved two attackers aside and sprinted forward. Pain tore through his body immediately. Broken ribs ground against each other with every step. The knife wound in his stomach leaked blood down his legs. Still, he pushed harder. Guests slammed into him from every direction. Marcus fought through them desperately. Too slow, too far. Adrian stepped backward into the elevator, their eyes locked across the destroyed ballroom. The billionaire tilted his head slightly, almost sympathetic. Then the elevator doors began to close. Marcus's breathing turned ragged. His physical speed wouldn't reach him in time. Not like this, not through 50 innocent bodies. The pressure inside Marcus's chest returned suddenly. Deep, violent. Hellfire, heavenly sight, realm magic, waiting, hungry. Marcus froze for a half second. If he used it, the blackout would come, and Lily's clock was already running out. The elevator door slid closer together. Adrian's smile remained calm. Marcus stood bleeding in the center of the ruined ballroom, forced to choose.